Yo, episode 15, trending down. Myself, Ethersole, and Bender. We're back at it. I think the people should know that, or maybe you can say it, but there's a new mic in town.
There is a new mic. I got bullied into getting one. Finally happened.
It's crispy.
Is it?
It is crispy. So, I guess we'll find out from everyone listening. But in my ears, it sounds pretty nice right now.
Well, in your ears, you also said the basic MacBook mic sounded good too.
Yeah. See, that was early days, and I had to establish dominance. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And here we are.
And that's how I became the trained puppy.
Exactly. Well, number go up.
Number one up a lot.
Number went up a lot and quick. That was kind of wild.
Yeah, I can't say I didn't expect it, but I don't think anyone was ready for it.
I mean, so what? We were literally in like the 1300 to 1280 sort of range on ETH for what felt like an eternity. It was going to go one way or the other, obviously up or down. Amazing TA. And it broke upwards violently. And I think we even hit like 1580 or something today.
Gosh, it feels good to finally see green back in the market.
Right. I mean, I'm even in a state of like kind of disbelief where I'm like, all right, I'm ready for it to just retrace the whole move and like, let's send it back down again. So am I the only one in that, or are you kind of in that camp too?
No, same camp. I said that to somebody else this morning, just kind of laughing about, what if this is the big 10K run and we're just sitting in stables? But I'm in the same boat, man. I think you have different levels that you break through, and then you consolidate at, and then you either break above those or break back below. And I don't see it happening yet. Happening being a break higher.
I mean, we're just conditioned to like, okay, yeah, cool, that was great, and then all of a sudden rugged, and we're back to the same range,
Right.
So it's like, what else can we expect right now? Of course, I love to see the green. I mean, shit, it was like almost a $300 move on ETH in like 2 days, maybe 3 days. So like very sizable and quick. But if we're just here like rinsing a bunch of people that went short and that's it, then that's not a super healthy way to like establish a new quote unquote bull market.
No, and I think that's where a lot of people get left behind, is thinking it's a new bull market, right?
Yeah, it's almost like it pumps to a point where you're fully convinced, which I think is definitely a little higher from here. And then it's like, oh, I'm fully all in. Like, it's time to risk on again. And that's when it like rugs you. It's so wild how all the dynamics sort of work.
Oh yeah. I forget who it was. It might have been Pentoshi that said, bear rallies only go as far until they convince you that it's a bull.
Market is trying to catch these hands right now because I mean constantly just trying to like mess with that inner monologue of, okay, I've got my capital that I'm saving here. I'm not going to deploy right now on a 15% candle. And then the next day, more green. And of course, pull the rug.
Right. Then you deploy the capital, and that's when the rug comes.
Oh yeah. And it always does. I mean, people are out here aping meme coins, which is basically making ETH deflationary right now. If you're literally living inside of a bubble and not paying attention, the merge happened. And so the dynamics on ETH are a little different. So with more on-chain activity, more ETH is being burnt. And so, yeah, like it's meme coin season.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite seasons.
Do you think Vitalik has a hand in this?
No, I don't.
Because he's tweeting out, they're all stemming from his tweets. Like everyone will find one word in his tweet and then make a new meme coin, and it'll burn a bunch of ETH.
Right. I got a DM from somebody today that was at the very elusive, like, hey, I think there's a big thing happening. Do you want to take a look at it? Because I respect your opinion. Like buttering me up, essentially.
Oh, boy.
And then they just sent me one of Vitalik's tweets, like, I'll let you find the Easter eggs yourself, but like, look at this and that. And my immediate response was like, if you think Vitalik is launching meme coins, like, you're gravely mistaken.
Right.
like, is he maybe playing into it with his tweets because he thinks it's good or fun? That even seems far-fetched. Like, this is the guy that like destroyed all the dog coins in one fell swoop.
Yeah, you got to go back and look at history and all that. But it is kind of a funny narrative to think like, okay, let me tweet out another ticker because I know someone else is going to spin it up. Not like he's making any money from it, but proving the point that like when there's on-chain activity and people are active again, ETH is going to be like disgustingly deflationary.
Yeah. I could see that being more of a proof of concept than anything else.
I mean, either way, that's what it's proving right now. So I guess regardless of why or how it's happening, that's what's being relayed. And I mean, shit, dude. Imagine when, first off, when like numbers fully pumping, when all the dApps on chain are going crazy and NFT mints are popping off, and we have this like 250, 500 gas. I mean,
oh man,
there's gonna be one ETH left.
I would love to know the math on the other side mint when we had like 3,000 Gwei for 5 hours.
I think ETH would basically be, there would be like 0.01 ETH for everyone.
ETH is over. It's done.
ETH, let's wrap it up. It's done.
We messed up. Pack it in.
Yeah, everyone actually owes ETH somehow, and they need to figure out a way to print it.
But it's like, it's a good point though, right? It's, why would you not kind of bet on that mentality of crypto's being established as a financial institution in different markets. Like the UK just came out on Monday saying that, and now you've got the quote unquote internet's computer in this mode where the more it's used, the less of it will exist. Like, that seems like a really easy narrative to get behind and say this will probably work on a long term.
Absolutely. I mean, the market dynamics on that are truly remarkable because it kind of rewards this like people using the most active network there is. You know,
I didn't even think about it that way. Yeah,
it's a great thing. You know, if you need some bulk opium and a reason to FOMO in right now, there you go.
I love bulk opium. Man, I am not the FOMO buyer though. I am like the minute I feel FOMO, I'm like, nope, I can't do it.
I'm fully conditioned to that, and that I feel like that's first off, that's a great thing. Like, we shouldn't ever like stray away from that. But when it becomes that, and of course there's a but when it becomes that like crazy hype, you know, multiple X's in a day type of bull market, basically the apes who like disregard that feeling tend to do a pretty well.
Oh yeah.
So in a sense, it's like I get that ingrained in me again. And then almost at the end of, say, an altcoin season where everything's just going bonkers, I toss that feeling to the wayside. And then that's when I get rugged for the most because it's the end of the cycle.
You just got to avoid the end of it.
Right. You got to make sure it happens around the beginning or at least the middle if you're going to like toss the FOMO genes away.
Well, that's spot on, right? Like I will never stop referencing the Doge wallet that only had Doge coins and derivatives in it, and it out traded the entire market. I'll never stop referencing that. It was the peak of, you're in the middle of a euphoric bull. There's no such thing as FOMO.
Right.
You are just buying things and they're going up. But in a bear, I think it's when you're like, all right, I need to temper a lot of these emotions and really figure out, is it too late or am I buying midway?
Yeah. I guess the flip side to being able to turn off and on the FOMO gene is when you can temper those expectations early in the bull market, because if you're able to, then you save a ton of capital.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all mistakes and learnings that come from experience, really. But
even then, man, the meme coin season is some of the most fun. It's got to be the most dangerous.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Nothing beats just like you and three buddies being like, hey, I found this new ticker and it looks really bad, but also really good.
Yeah, it's just crazy that will always probably be a part of crypto, while there's this like completely flip side of it, trying to build a new like financial regime, open financial world. And part of that is going to be meme coins.
I feel like meme coins are the penny stocks of crypto.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. They're definitely like, I would even say they're almost pink slips because it's just like guaranteed to get rugged. Like one below. It's like literally go watch Wolf of Wall Street if you don't know what that's about, and that's what they were slanging. That's like you have to buy this.
Oh man.
I mean, speaking of like a new financial regime, though, you had SBF, which is I shouldn't even need to describe it, but the guy who heads up FTX, trying to pass some laws on DeFi, and the community finally like went up in arms. Were you following that at all?
No, I saw the big like blow up about it and just rolled my eyes, and figured I'd learn it from you at some point, honestly. So I'm a student.
Hey, so essentially, he's trying to come out and say, there needs to be regulations if we want crypto to be a thing. I think we can all agree on that. But a lot of his ideas were like any front end needs to have KYC and needs to be registered as like full CFTC, like all the certifications, which if you've ever been through that type of process with these government agencies, it's almost impossible to pass and get one. And I'm not saying that there aren't certain applications maybe in crypto that shouldn't have those. I think a lot of that goes out to like on chain like perps, right? Like trading on chain, where like, his biggest competitor is someone like GMX, where he's out here having to get people's passports and all this stuff, and people are like, yo, I don't really want to give you this, but in order for me to trade, I will. Where like, then you can go on GMX and literally anyone could go trade. So he has this like the unfair advantage. So I see where he's coming from, but then to like loop in all of DeFi to that is just completely unfair. So finally the community kind of rallied and was just like, yo man, like you're a bad actor. And he actually got rattled for like kind of the first time I've ever seen in the public, where he's like dropping F-bombs and calling people out and like, saying like, oh, you're an insider at Binance and all this stuff. So like it was kind of wild to see.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize that part.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He went hard at BitBoy, which is kind of funny. But BitBoy was like, yo, we need to defend DeFi, which is just another layer of like, this is insane to see like these two characters kind of go head to head. But yeah, no, he's out here trying to pass laws that he's saying is for the betterment of all of crypto, when in actuality it's just going to push people to like centralized exchanges to trade these assets. And I think there is a room, or there's like, if you're a decentralization maxi, you don't think there's any wiggle room. Everyone should be able to do what they want. But I do think there is a middle ground of like, there has to be some regulation, but then it has to enable like growth and innovation.
Yeah, I think that's spot on.
So he's out here trying to basically stifle it, is like what the DeFi community kind of gathered from it. And then CZ tweets a couple days ago being like, he's the head of Binance, and he tweets, we are investing heavy in DeFi. And that is coming from someone, who owns the largest centralized exchange. So just kind of funny there to see the polar opposites in viewpoints. We'll see how it plays out.
I'm inclined to think they're both probably right to an extent. It's probably the middle ground. You need some regulations, but you can't. Yeah. The whole like forcing a KYC for any front end seems almost egregious.
Right. I mean,
it stifles everybody unless you're some. Like, you can't just bootstrap a team of like 7 people and build something new at that point. You have to really, really go through the loopholes and go through the red tape to try to get there.
Right. And most times you'll get shut down. I mean, to be honest, that would like kill a ton of innovation, or I guess just move it out of the US, really, because, they say this would be like US specific. So I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, yeah, this is coming from the guy who has it all set up right now. So,
right.
Yeah, of course that's your viewpoint.
Yeah, that's what I expect from him.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, maybe if it's like, hey, if you have a trading platform that's decentralized, like we want to pursue that, you guys need KYC too. I could see the argument saying, fuck that, I should be able to trade whatever I want. But like to just loop in every protocol that's out there makes no sense.
No, not at all.
So, we'll kind of see how that plays out, but the community really pushed back against him. And like I said, it was wild to see him get flustered because he always kind of keeps his cool. And then about 24 hours later, he backtracked on everything. So I think the PR team kind of took the reins on the Twitter account.
Do you think he actually has like good intentions there? Do you think he really thinks what he's doing is best for everyone and not just best for him?
That's a good question. I'm in the camp that he's kind of a bad actor for the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
He does a ton of donating and that type of work, but he also does a ton of lobbying as well. He pays, big money to political parties and stuff like that. So like, regardless of all that though, I haven't seen one area where he's like been plus EV for the space. Besides maybe bringing in retail via FTX.
Right, but that's kind of him benefiting himself in the same way.
Again, right? So it's like, and he's trading against his own users. So like,
right.
It's the whole model of, okay, we'll have a trading platform and then a VC arm, and we'll say they're separate. We'll invest in seed rounds, and then we'll get these massive bags. We'll list the perp on our own exchange. We'll hedge our entire position and come out up 50x on every single seed round while it just dumps on retail's heads, the same people that we're getting into the space. So yeah, tell me how that's good for everyone. Like that's the reality of it, and most people don't want to talk about it because he's a powerful dude.
It sounds pretty bad.
It's not good. Not great.
But it also makes sense then why he wants to channel all of that trading volume to FTX and away from other platforms too.
Correct. Yeah. So there we go. That kind of wraps up Coin World and DeFi right there. I mean,
we have to touch on BitBoy in his response.
Let's do it.
We can't avoid that one.
No.
He's very litigious. So I'm not going to sit here and bash BitBoy out of fear of getting sued because I said a mean thing to him. But the memes people made from his response where he got on his show and screamed that he's like the hero of the people and that he's here for you. Some of the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, he went full Alex Jones.
He did. That was my exact response when I watched that. I was like, oh, wow, he's doing it.
He went so hard. It was funny to watch, really, because I was just like, is he actually doing this right now? And is this real? You could argue that there is, I mean, again, gonna take like the easy route, but that he has minus EV for the space as well with some of the shenanigans he's doing. So,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's why it's so funny to see both these guys go up against each other when it's like, I mean, I guess you could always come at an angle with anyone that you're like, hey, I don't think you're good for the space, quote unquote, but I don't know. They definitely have egregious things.
Oh yeah. Well, when he started saying that he's not here for the money, the first thing that came into my head was that he charges $30,000 a tweet about a coin.
Exactly.
You can't tell me you're not here for the money if you're charging $30,000 for a tweet.
I mean, that's a nice little chunk of change for a tweet.
Yeah, what a life, man.
Could you imagine? I mean, dude's laced in cash. So he better come out and protect friggin' crypto to keep his little charade going.
Yeah, and if that's the outcome, I can deal with it.
Right. I mean, he's just going to be like one of the richest people, like that Moon Carl guy. It's like these dudes are just so loaded, and I don't get it. But like, do you have no conscience of fleecing retail?
No.
Or do you feel like you just don't? Do you really feel like you're doing good? And then you convince yourself of that and you can sleep at night? Like
that one.
Yeah.
It's that one. You got to, right? Like if you don't, if you really like believe that all these people are bad actors and like have the worst intentions, like that's a dark life to live. And like, I just simply will not do that. I got to make myself believe that these people think they're doing a common good and they think they have like a just or like a just cause.
Yeah.
Like maybe BitBoy really thinks he is the Jim Cramer and trying to help retail people navigate the crypto space. I don't really agree. You know, when you send a tweet of like, here are my top 5 coins for the new year, and it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, and like BitBoy socks or something.
Yeah.
Like, one of those is not the same as the other 4.
Right. You know what you're doing.
Exactly. Like he's definitely here and doing what he's doing for his own personal wealth and building his own little business. But I'm sure it's probably easy for him to chalk up the losses that people get to reading signals wrong and the wins people get to listening to him correctly. Like I bet that's what it is.
Right.
I still don't like him.
No.
But I gotta believe the common good there is somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. You know, again, you got to hope that everyone is in it for like the 10-year time horizon where something good comes out of all this, something new, and it has that like sort of aha moment that happens that everyone benefits from. But we'll see.
Hopefully, we'll be on podcast like 900 by that point.
I was gonna say 1,500, but yeah, you're probably right with the rate we're punching them out. Probably 900.
Oh, I didn't do the math, and I just picked a random number.
Me neither. But I was like, okay, I was really just timesing 15 by like 100 real quick, but quick math, and then figured, oh well, you know, sometimes it's every 10 days, so it's what it is.
They get them when they get them.
I mean, you got to figure during a bull market, we're going to be popping in spaces and pumping out podcasts like crazy while like live trading meme coins.
Oh, man.
I just got rugged for 10 ETH. It's like at that time, it's literally 100K because ETH is 10K.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And yeah, hopefully we're all 8 figures, 9 figures deep by then. So including.
I mean, we almost ran the spaces today and then I got
know.
distracted for 2.5 hours.
I know. We should just hop on and get some banter going from the community, though. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. It's just more fun to talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's a ton of people who listen who are just pumping out amazing content.
I had someone ask me recently what they don't listen to the podcast, but they know it exists, and
Okay.
they asked what the content of it is. And I was like, man, how do I explain that? I was like, it's like 2 guys get on a phone conversation and just kind of talk for an hour.
Just ramble about crypto. I mean, I talk to people who are not like deep in the space, and it's like, yeah, no, it's entertaining. I don't really, you know, most of it goes over my head, but it's entertaining. I'm like, okay, I guess that's perfect. You know, during the time when everyone's gonna want to hop in the bull, hopefully it's just something you jump into and you're like, oh, at least I'm up to speed on a couple things.
Right. That's the ultimate goal, right? You get the top level things, you kind of know what's coming, take a few lessons away.
Yeah, exactly. Go back, listen to some older episodes, maybe figure out when to take profit, all that stuff.
Profit when numbers go up. It's simple math.
It is extremely simple math. And then exactly. I'm not even gonna go down that, but yeah, number go up.
Number goes up, baby.
That's all we want, really. I mean, but that's trending down, right? Like, I when it did jump, everyone was tagging. Like, did you guys just record?
Isn't that amazing? We're the counterculture to up only.
Like high key, we popped this out when it was like $900 ETH.
Yeah.
So there's been swings, but overall, up only.
It's all about timing, right? Or being lucky. I don't know which one it is anymore.
Honestly, it might be a bit of both. But
it's probably a bit of both.
Let's hop into the NFT world because there's been first off, NFT world is like the soap opera drama sesh of the century.
Isn't it always?
It is, and I thought like DeFi and coins and all that stuff was bad, but holy smokes, that side of the space is like it's high school.
Yeah, well, after Danny Siesta took off and Andre disappeared and, all the Merlin and Abracadabra stuff fell out, what was left besides just NFT people for everyone to focus on their downfall next?
Yeah, so we need some new like DeFi main characters, basically, for that to
We
really become
do.
drama filled.
Yeah, we don't have any right now. We'll find some, but we don't have
Oh,
any
they'll
yet.
pop up. They'll pop up for sure. But I mean, the NFT space, holy, it is just riddled with it. And every day there's just a new situation going down, whether it be everyone trying to get on Reddit now because Reddit has these, NFTs they put out that went bonkers, or people hosting 10 spaces a day talking about absolutely nothing. It's just
Yeah.
wild. I feel like the whole space is losing their mind.
Yeah. It's sad because I think in February we were talking about this, and there's a tweet out there somewhere about as the bear market pushes on, the timeline is going to self cannibalize itself, and it's been happening for the past 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that's left when nothing's happening is just these people, and they just want to tear these people down and then build them back up.
Right.
So, like you said, you've got all these people running spaces with really no content coming out. It's just almost like a Jerry Springer episode every time you go into them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's not all of them. There are some good ones out there that talk about what's going on and actual things. And there's like some logical talks about new technology, what's happening next. But man, a lot of these like screaming matches, whew.
I would almost say to that last point is that it's split in two. There are people who are taking like the actual, research approach, talking about the space, what's new, what's exciting, what they want to see, what they don't want to see, and that's helpful. But then there's this whole other side who's almost getting more attention that's like all for engagement farming. Isn't that
Yeah.
wild? Like,
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
crazy.
it happened when NFT Inspect became like the silver lining to anything, is you had to know where you were at on NFT Inspect.
And so that is like a platform that shows Twitter engagement, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Who has like the most engagement against their followers. I think it's literally like your average engagement against your follower count as a percentage.
Okay.
So if you have like
that
1,000
created-
followers, you get 100 likes, you get like 10% engagement for your score or something like that.
Got it. So, okay, that it fully explains why people are just like basically tossing out the dumbest tweets and content ever solely to get engagement. Not
Right.
not like, because bringing it back to another example, like someone will basically say a technical thread on new NFT contracts that'll maximize gas and like reduce minting costs, 5 likes, and then someone will put out um, go to dinner with me for 6.9 ETH or take the ETH or whatever it is, something stupid like that, 5,000 likes. So
Right.
like, but that's that, and then that, yeah, it just shows that, I don't know, it's wild to see. Basically, I can't even wrap my head around what's going on with the NFT scene, because it's just such a I almost like, I want to believe there's overlap between crypto and DeFi and then NFTs, but like when I look at that, it almost, to me, I'm like, oh, there's no overlap. It's just a different crowd of people.
Yeah, it's bad, honestly. And we are both in discords where these things get talked about, and like the people are kind of looked down on and said like, what's going on here? And
Right.
it's not something you'd ever want to be a part of if you were doing something in the sense of like branding.
Yeah, it's not the best community. At least there's not too much like egregious cancel stuff going on. It's just kind of like clickbaity, like YouTube, Instagram type stuff that has like transpired over it. But at least now, hopefully, it'll migrate to Reddit.
Oh man, when people started posting like their new Reddit handles or like their Reddit posts they made because the Reddit NFT popped off, I think I've rolled my eyes so far in the back of my head.
So speaking of Reddit NFTs, I feel like we should touch on it. Like, those came out of nowhere. Did you hear about those when they were minting? I mean, I don't even know. So did they just pick a bunch of artists that drew a couple things in the Reddit like mascot and then put out a collection you could buy for like $5.99, $10 or something? Is that how it worked?
Man, I wish I had the answer here. I'm on Reddit at least once a day, if not like 5 times a day at minimum.
Wow.
And I didn't even know this was happening. And then I went back and I'd been told about it over a month ago to pay attention to this and just completely forgot.
Yeah.
But what I heard was they were almost all of them sold for under $100. You could just kind of create your own snoo, which is the Reddit mascot. And they were composable. You gave them whatever you wanted, is my understanding. And then you got your little avatar, but you didn't realize you were getting it on the blockchain necessarily. They were powered by the blockchain. They weren't called NFTs. They were called digital collectibles powered by blockchain.
I think that's a key part of the story, but I mean, they popped off recently, like as of 2 days ago, kind of took everyone by storm.
Oh yeah. Well, Reddit's a huge community, and it's almost guaranteed that people on crypto Twitter are also on Reddit.
Right.
I think when the timeline in mass misses something, they FOMO in later. And I think that's what we saw with the Reddit NFTs.
I mean, it's funny to see because, I mean, ever since I've come into the space, obviously I went to Reddit for information in the beginning and then realized that Twitter was probably the main source of alpha combined with Discords. But then it was this whole meme of like, if you're getting your information from Reddit, you're like the last person to be getting it, since that's like the exit liquidity. And this was the complete opposite. Like now you had these Redditors that had bought these collectibles, which is a great rebrand, but brought these collectibles for $10 and then are selling these right now for like $20K. I mean, some of the high end ones.
Right. Because they were still, I didn't go through the process, so I don't understand entirely, but if you go look at them, they're not all revealed. So I'm not quite sure whether you can completely decide, like, I want an all gold one, or you want like a basic, like, little naked guy.
Right. Like maybe it's like a upcoming one that hasn't been allocated to like a creator yet. I don't know, but
I think what it probably is you got to pick which collection you went into, and then within that collection, once it revealed, you maybe have some composability. Because I know I saw like Andrew Wang changing his avatar around a little bit, but the main pillars were still there.
Got it. Okay. Well, either way, interesting that, NFT world was completely turned off to this. Another little interesting fact is Reddit and the gamer community and stuff, but they both were united in that they hate NFTs. And so calling them digital collectibles was all of a sudden like, oh, this is mind blowing. This is new technology that's going to take over.
Yeah, dude, it's all it takes is you just got to convince people.
It's like crypto to Web3. It was like, oh, crypto's bad. And then they said Web3 is like, oh, that's kind of like a Silicon Valley type term. Like, sounds great.
Dude, yeah. I mean, there's not a single person in crypto that believed in crypto from the beginning unless it was the creators of Bitcoin.
Right.
Like, at some point, everyone was always skeptical.
I mean, you could argue like the vast majority still are, right? But,
oh yeah.
Now there's more people bought in, of course. But yes, I fully agree that even still, there's times where you'll kind of question your overall like conviction on the market.
Oh, dude, constantly. You wake up and you're down 20% for no reason. You're saying, okay, well, I guess it was all a scam.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you hit these 15% days and you're like, hey, no, we're actually still here, aren't we? We're back.
Exactly. We're back, baby. Do we think that this becomes a super common theme that other platforms try to fully like mimic?
1,000%. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you is my thought. Exactly. I mean, if Reddit sold, I don't know how many there are, but if Reddit sold a ton of them for $10 each, it's like, that's money in the bank.
They 86,000 of them was what I heard, or what I saw.
Wow.
86,000 different little snoo guys.
Okay.
That's a lot.
That's a good little source. I mean, the thing about Reddit NFTs is there's like no scarcity in my head, so they could just keep pumping them out. But it's a cool thing to see, and you can't overlook the fact that that could definitely be like the gateway and onboarding type of scenario for people to be like, these are kind of cool now that I think about it. And then, I mean, I've always said price is the best marketing tool, and if number go up, people get kind of addicted to that and want to chase it elsewhere, and that's probably going to be on Ethereum.
Yeah, I think that's a logical leap people are making, or saying that these are on Polygon. I think they said that Reddit made 3 million or 2.8 million wallets, and only at the time like 4,000 of them were active on the chain. But if you've got 4,000 active and 25% of them bridge over to mainnet to try NFTs there, that's still like a good chunk of people. Compared to 3 million, it's pretty bad, but you don't get places by taking massive steps. You take little baby steps along the way.
Right. Exactly. I'm in full agreement there.
And there's no reason other platforms wouldn't do it. My mentor said when NFTs were first starting, not first starting, but when Adidas first jumped in, he said, when these big companies jump in, it's usually a really good sign of first movers, and a lot of other things will follow. But it takes time. You can't pivot like a massive ship like Reddit in a month. You have to get the approvals, get the product pitches, iron out all the details, figure out the revenue values there, and say, are we going to do this? And if it fails, what do we lose? So I don't see why we wouldn't see it more often, especially with Apple adding that into their terms of service. Mm-hmm. That on the App Store, you can now sell digital collectibles through the App Store and their apps there.
And they get a cut, right?
Right. Yeah, they get a cut.
That's what they were like maintaining. So it's like you can't all of a sudden sell these digital collectibles that then give you greater access to the apps themselves without giving Apple that cut.
Right.
Of future services as well. So, but for them to acknowledge that just kind of shows as well that there's definitely a future there. This is going to be a thing. I just think, again, the more mainstream adoption of these collectibles or whatever you want to call it, people then branch out and take that pill of like, oh, I'm going to see what's up on Ethereum or whatever like people are talking about. Like, mm-hmm. Of course, there's always a group that is going to be against it, but you got to figure some people are going to convert.
Oh, spot on. And you got to also follow the volume too. Like you had all that Reddit NFT volume on Polygon. You got to stay on Polygon at the same time and say, what else is happening here? Where is that money going to move to?
Yeah.
And the Polygon, the gas on Polygon's been crazy the whole week. And I think it's in part because of this.
Are you bullish Matic, which is the native, obviously, gas token of Polygon, but for those that don't know?
Gosh, man. I never have been until you said something about, I think, NFT NYC, where Matic was everywhere. They were in every branding.
Yeah, Polygon was everywhere.
I think you take that into account, and you kind of need to be bullish. It's in my top coins of like this protocol chain, whatever you want to call it, could do something, and might be not a bad idea to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm not just personally going to go by it, but I definitely am going to pay attention to their chain and see
yes.
if, their BD is on point. They're bringing in Starbucks, they're bringing in Reddit, all these other big brands. And so if they're going to be like the retail chain of, Web 2 and bring all those kind of old tech companies that, are basically fully writing off crypto, but then want exposure to the revenue side, they could just go through Polygon, and it's like, okay, cool. I'll keep track of that and jump over there if need be to collect some profits.
And it could be any chain too.
Right. I mean, Arbitrum's, trying to BD as well to get people over there. I mean, any of these layer 2s, any of these chains, I'm sure Solana BD guys are out there trying to hustle for the next big partnership.
Right.
So yeah, it's all of them, and you just got to kind of pay attention. Personally, not going to be buying Matic, but it could have a huge run because of those type of relationships. So something you got to be mindful of.
Yeah, I almost certainly will not be buying it either because of the same reasons. I'd rather just hold Ethereum.
Yeah.
As opposed to Matic, and if I miss the gains there, that's okay. I know the cycle better with Ethereum than I do Matic.
Yeah.
Because trying to catch a black swan like that, where it's like, hey, or I don't know what the opposite of a black swan event is.
A white swan.
Yeah,
a normal swan.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to catch like a massive upward momentum on Matic that no one sees coming. It's going to be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, again, well, if it happens, you'll hear about it here.
Hey, you are not wrong. The crazy part though is that it could be any chain. It could be Atom, Arbitrum, Cosmos. That's the same as Atom. Polygon.
yeah,
Solana. Yeah. Because behind the scenes, no one knows what's going on. When you buy something through PayPal on your phone, it uses something called Braintree, which no one knows about unless you're building this stuff. So all you would know as a user is that you're purchasing something through some platform and it's powered by the blockchain.
Right.
You don't necessarily know which blockchain it is. So Instagram could partner with Solana, and then Facebook, which is in the same corporation, could partner with Atom, and you wouldn't really guess which one or the other. So it could be anything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool too.
I think that main thing is like making it frictionless for the user and not having them have to be like, oh, a crypto maxi, but like what they're doing or participating in is just gonna be the winning recipe, because you're not gonna have everyone aping on MetaMask and all these like Etherscan and Arbitrum and layer 2s and all that stuff. It's just not gonna happen. But if it's super seamless in a front end that they don't even know what they're doing, that's when you get booming type of adoption happening. So
right.
I think it's all just like a race to set that up for when that big moment happens. And then in the meantime, there's definitely enough degens to go around and have some fun.
Oh yeah. And I really like when people complain about the fees and saying, this will never catch on because it's too expensive to send a transaction. But that same person would have bought tickets off Ticketmaster and spent $90 in fees and been like, right. Oh, this is fine.
Yeah. Fees are everywhere. I mean, some of these fees on these smaller chains like Matic and Arbitrum and just these layer 2s are like less than a penny now. So yeah. It's a moot point these days.
Dude, I have never put in a bid or a buy or sell order on Fidelity without paying a $5 fee.
Exactly.
And that's usually cheaper than a crypto transaction also. So it's all the same thing end of the day.
I mean, okay, so it's kind of like this isn't fully going to be a good transition, but whatever.
Before you transition, before you pull this out.
Okay.
Reddit called them digital collectibles.
Yep.
Which is a great rebrand, but it won't be the last. It's about, you got to rebrand for the audience.
Yep.
So, Reddit avatars powered by blockchain and their digital collectibles is a great way to describe that, because Reddit loves collecting badges. Profiles about badges. You have your own snoo. You get in this little golden Reddit club where you make your own special snoo. It's like all a little virtual world they created. But then you have the gaming community that hates NFTs, but they would love virtual items powered by the blockchain.
Yep.
And they'd love that because if you've ever been in the Counter-Strike skin trading world, that money is so hard to get off of the Steam platform. And the only way to do it usually is through some sketchy means or using some sketchy third-party site. But if you could just sell that item directly to cash on blockchain and withdraw it, you've satisfied a large portion of that Counter-Strike market immediately, and you're not calling them NFTs. So it's really just about how do you name these things for the audience.
Right. Something that they can get behind and that also has that same benefit for them. and then doesn't have that like negative connotation that unfortunately NFTs kind of do carry right now, whether it's warranted or not.
Right.
So, I mean, again, how many times has crypto rebranded, and like these overall like new narratives that come up, and it's like whoever comes up with them is obviously a marketing genius, but Web3 was the most recent one, so we're definitely going to see a ton more.
It'll never be the end.
I mean, it's just going to be ongoing. But so NFTs, fast fees, or low fees, fast transactions kind of got me thinking about Blur, and I know you wanted to talk about that. Do you want to dive in there?
Yeah.
I know you're excited.
Sweet product. I'm not in the seed round. This is not a shill, but like, damn, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the guys at Paradigm put this out, right?
Yeah,
so
powered by Paradigm.
They're chads. Like, they understand the crypto culture, which is a key to making a good product in crypto.
Oh, yeah. They're deep in the research. Their white papers and all the articles they put out are spot on. And this is more of that. You use this thing for 5 minutes, and it's very clear this has been well thought out. It had a lot of effort put into it, a lot of research behind what a market wants in a trading platform. It's the only thing I don't like about it is it's orange. There's a lot of orange on it. It doesn't need to be orange.
You want to reskin it. Maybe this is the Halloween skin.
Yeah, exactly. Just, change the CSS and let me pick the color. Just change all the orange to it, and I would be all over this thing all the time.
And so if I'm fully understanding, this is a brand new marketplace, right? This is going to be like a competitor to OpenSea, Looks Rare, Magic Eden, X2, Y2.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to be a new aggregator, so kind of like Gem.
But also their own marketplace, right? Because you can't just, or I guess you can list on Gem too. So you have access to all of it, but it's also its own marketplace.
Yes, exactly.
Because that makes more sense because I know that Gem got bought by OpenSea, so that's why there's like no token. Otherwise, there probably would have been. So Blur did an airdrop for anyone who has traded NFTs in the last 6 months. You got to open these crates, which was kind of a cool process. I don't know what you thought about it.
Besides not getting any legendaries, I thought it was great.
Did you really not? I mean, how much did you get in total?
Almost 90.
I had 3 wallets and 155 total.
And how many did you get? How many legendaries?
5.
I'm hitting this leave call button.
Yeah, I just hit the leave and hang up.
Oh man, yeah, not a single legendary.
So okay, here's some. Or maybe I'm jumping the gun. But anyway, you had to open these boxes and you revealed uncommon, rare, legendary. We don't know what that means yet, but we're assuming in 3 months when the other second half of the airdrop comes, and that's for like trading on the platform and listing on the platform over from now till January, that second you'll get more crates. And ideally those crates will have like locked up Blur tokens, right?
Right.
Who knows how much the legendary is going to have versus the rare. I would hope that the difference isn't too crazy, because it was like completely random, but we'll see. But a lot of people are speculating that the second airdrop is going to be much bigger, mainly because they themselves said it was going to be.
I was about to say that's why.
But my thinking is that I think the first one is going to end up being weighted heavier because so many people are going to try and sybil that airdrop that it just gets diluted.
They said don't try to sybil it because they'll be doing advanced analysis, yada, yada, yada. We've heard that millions of times.
Millions of times.
So yeah, you're probably not wrong.
It's super hard to weed out real activity versus fake activity, especially when I don't know if you've seen some of these anti-sybil threads that came out, the fucking links people go to
Oh yeah,
spam airdrops is unbelievable, but it makes sense. It's free money if you're able to game the system. But I have a feeling that even though they say it's going to be bigger, that, I mean, it is Paradigm too. So maybe we give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're going to figure out how to weed through all the transactions and figure out what's real and what's not. But either way, I say overall I'm super excited for the platform. Obviously, I love a good airdrop. I don't think I'll be buying the coin though.
You don't think you're going to buy the coin?
I'm definitely not buying the coin.
I might buy the coin.
You might buy the coin.
I might buy the coin. There were so many names in
Holy
that
shit. Okay, market
seed
down
round.
here.
There's too many people in the NFT world in that seed round that's going to really try to push this thing.
Okay, but the seed round is obviously...
They're locked for a while.
Okay.
They can't dump for, I forget how long the period was. And like, I can get out before they get out.
I guess I want to see, because we don't know anything about tokenomics there, right? Like,
no, nothing. That's what we need to figure out.
Okay, because if it has, which paradigm should have good tokenomics?
Bro, you got 150? What the fuck have you been buying?
I know. I was they literally must have tracked NFT Trader.
Yeah. Oh.
Like OTC trades, because I was like definitely selling or moving around like big ETH transactions with with
that's
apes.
Probably what it was.
Yeah. And obviously taking tax loss L's all throughout the last 6 months. So
damn.
that's fun. But so yeah,
nice,
okay.
well
So
done, man.
I guess when we see the tokenomics, we'll go over it on trending down because and
absolutely
that'll kind of determine whether we're going to buy. But if there's some kind of fee, like sort of distribution, which is tough because I feel like they're a docs team.
Ooh, I don't think they are.
Well, we
built
don't
by
know
some
who,
guy named Pac-Man.
we don't know who Pac-Man is, but I mean Paradigm is. So I guess maybe there is a layer of protection there where it's like, no, we just invested.
Maybe we try to get Zeneca on here and talk about it. He's the chief of Zen.
That would be goated because it would be awesome, one, to hear what he has to say, but two, to learn. Maybe I doubt he would leak any tokenomics stuff. But
no,
maybe
of course not.
Maybe we get him on once it's public to ask more questions about the actual dynamics of it.
Yeah, I like that.
So either way, super exciting platform. I think, is it still in range to claim the airdrop?
Yeah, you've got, I think, 5 more days.
Yep. Go to blur.io. Check your wallets. If you've traded NFTs in the past 6 months, you might be eligible. You have to list an NFT on their platform to actually claim the airdrop. So
yeah, if you have inactive wallets, just do what I did and buy an NFT on their platform for 0.01 and list it again for 0.01.
Smart.
Because the airdrop's going to cover that cost.
That's actually super smart. And then someone was probably like, wait, what the fuck? Someone actually bought that?
Oh, almost certainly, yeah. This is why you got a 3 a.m. message last night. That is what I was doing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, go check it out. Obviously not affiliated in the slightest, but I think what you and what I personally like about it is that the speed is unreal. It's like a no bullshit kind of interface, and it shows a ton of data. So, I mean, that's what I like.
Yeah, it's great. And since they aggregate everything, they have the floor from the market. Like, there's been many times I've looked at OpenSea in the last 4 days and then looked at Blur and been like, oh, it's actually half an ETH cheaper here.
Wow. Okay. And
the difference becomes even greater when you look at smaller collections. So I was looking at one last night when I was buying this thing for 0.01. It was 0.01 on Blur, but it was 0.015 on OpenSea. And that's like a 50% gain right there if you really wanted to try to play the market.
I mean, you can't knock that at all.
No, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but it was interesting to see.
No, yeah, of course. But where the floor is established usually has the most volume. And if tokenomics around volume, then, I mean,
It kind of seems like it combined NFT nerds with OpenSea. Because in the bottom of the screen, you've got your gas controls. You can set your gas to be, advanced 500 gwei to snipe recent listings.
Right.
You've got all kinds of tools available, and all they're missing now is the ability to do automated sniping that OpenSea or not OpenSea NFT Nerds has.
Oh wow. Yeah, I feel like basically they created a platform. It's like for the gens by the gens type of deal. Is what I can tell.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it. Absolutely love it. Go check it out.
Yeah, go peep. Okay, cool. Did we have anything else before we hop into Twitter topics? Because I know we have a ton of Twitter topics this time. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on applications and NFTs, if that's like a super important topic for you.
Dude, I hate them. I'll touch on them really quick.
Okay. What exactly is that?
Stupid. Like, man, I'm already mad. Like,
okay. Are you talking about someone applying to be on like a whitelist or something?
Bro, yes. Okay, imagine this. You are 18 years old. You've just graduated high school, and you are pumped because you're going to go off to college.
Hold on, let me close my eyes. Okay, you
got to go to your favorite college, and you need to open up the application, and you see a list of 12 questions you have to answer, and you got to dig deep and be like, oh, why am I here? What do I offer to this college, and how can I convince them they need me? That is what we're doing at NFTs now. You have to pitch yourself to say, this is why I should be allowed to buy your NFT. It is so stupid.
Okay, can I open my eyes again?
No.
I'm fully picturing myself, and I'm heated because, I don't want to answer a 12-page or a 12-question application like I'm applying for a job or a college or something like that when I'm talking about a JPEG.
Yeah, but like,
what are we really doing here? We talking about practice, or are we talking about literally internet pictures?
Are we talking about practice?
I mean, come on now, people. Like, an application. I feel like, okay, the only thing I know about is Utes doing this. So, like, are we really about to bring them back in the conversation? Because I will.
No, it's not. But damn, that is a juicy topic. It's so many people are doing this now. They saw what Utes did, and
so they're taking that though. That's the meta they started.
Yeah, Utes. They found a way to say, hey, we can cultivate engagement by having these applications on the timeline.
Who else is doing it, or do we not want to even give them a platform? Because I'm okay with that.
I'll give them a platform because they're pretty big. Valhalla is probably the biggest one, and I think they did it either immediately after Utes, if not before.
Interesting. Would be good to know that, because then there's a whole nother topic there.
I could actually probably tell you very quickly if it was before or after, because I filled their application out, and it took me 45 minutes.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, it was like long form answers, and I put some effort in. Because I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it well. Like, what do I bring to this community? And like, what is it about me that is important in NFTs?
Okay, question.
Valhalla did it first.
Wow. Okay. Duly noted. You heard it here first on Trending Down. Valhalla did it first. Quote, tweet it. See you later. Is this better than grinding whitelist like people used to do on Discord?
God, I don't know.
Because that was an absolute nightmare. This seems worse, though. I don't want to answer.
I don't know, man.
They're both
bad. Yeah.
They're both bad. There we go.
Because like, the bullshit with this one is, you read out these long answer questions and you get denied, or you just never go from pending. And you have two questions, and those are, did anyone actually see these, or they just cherry pick people with large platforms? Because I've never been denied from applications, and I've put some bullshit ones down the pipeline.
It always asks for your Twitter, so it has to be a script where they can see followers.
Right, and it's just more the same. But like, you gotta imagine, like, you were just a normal, like, you don't have a big following. You're just like, you're here, you like the tech, you're having fun, and you're like, oh, this looks sweet, I'll put an application in, and you get denied, and you have no idea why. But like, the questions are personal. They're like, what do you bring to the community? Like, how can you help us be better? And they're essentially saying, like, we don't want you, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, this is just so dumb to me. It's like the whole point of like open finance, open world, open, whatever, is now like you're applying for these projects for them to take your money that you want to give them. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Who are you on your high horse asking me questions? Like, I mean, rubs me the wrong way.
Who are you
fully.
asking me questions?
Yeah. Like, what the hell is this, man? I don't want to fill out an application for a JPEG, dude.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man, because they're trying to engineer a community. And
right.
You know, those are words from Utes, and I'll quote those because they're important. You're trying to engineer a community, and that's what the goal of the applications are, is they're trying to cultivate the right holders for their project. But secondary sales disprove the application process, because if I apply to University of Miami and get accepted, I can't go sell my approval to somebody on the street.
Right.
So, like, it makes sense why institutions have applications, but when you can just get up accepted and go sell your NFT on secondary, your community is not engineered. It's totally bullshit.
You're cherry picking who gets to flip for a profit
Right.
first. And then really, honestly, it's like a net negative, because most people are going to flip for a profit. Let's be honest. That's what the whitelist is. That's what this new quote unquote application bullshit is. And then the next person to get it is all of a sudden holding the bag because they wanted to get in. And then they're down 50% the next day.
Yeah.
So like you're
bullshit.
really just pissing people off. But okay, so fully staying away from that. I never was going to get involved. But that's so on that note, is there a project that is that's doing the opposite of that?
I know what you're doing.
I told the people I would. They wanted it, and I'm fishing.
Dude, I'm never doing applications. I thought about it in a joking way of submit your application, and all you have to do is submit a meme or some bullshit. But it was like, it's still BS, man. Like,
yeah.
No, never doing applications. I hate it. We're not doing Discord grinding, like none of that bullshit. I try to think about it from the perspective of like, when I didn't have a platform, what would I have wanted?
Right. Okay. That's a good perspective for sure. I mean, technically that's where we all should be, and that's where people should be coming from it, because who gives a shit if you have a platform or not? You know,
right.
Like when it's all said and done, it doesn't really matter.
No, it does. Like, end of the day, like, it like makes me feel both special and like kind of sad when someone's like, "Hey, reply to my tweet." I'm like, dude, I'm not important. Like, don't deify me. Like, I am just like you. If you and I were in a restaurant, like, we'd have a normal conversation. You'd know nothing about this.
Or
Twitter
we'd just be
account.
sitting next to each other and have no clue, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not like Kobe, where someone at the urinal last night at a bar asked if it was Kobe.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's
like too much for me. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, that's a space. It's like, yo, hit me up outside the bathroom at the least.
Yeah. I would probably delete my Twitter at that moment. Be like, well, we're done here.
Yeah. Hey, I'm hanging up the hat. It was a good run, and we'll see ya.
Yep.
But, okay, well.
Yeah, no applications, none of that BS.
Okay.
The funny thing is no one's really caught on that trending down is the only thing that I've really, like, publicly attached myself to. And, like, they're not really looking deep into, like, those tweets.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I've talked about snapshots, I've talked about this and that, and they're all over my Twitter, and they never thought I'd reach out other places when the whole thing has been about how do you bring in people that have always supported you from the beginning.
Correct. If you're this deep in the podcast, you know, you got to figure they're probably already there. But I mean, if you're not, and you're not taking a hint right now, can't really hold your hand much more.
Right. I was incredibly flattered that someone yesterday was saying, "Hey, what time's the podcast come out? I want to make sure I'm ready right away."
Honestly, I'll never not worship and smile and like be like, "Oh, fuck yeah," at those type of comments.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's what it's all about, right? That's the only reason we actually keep cranking this out. I mean, they're fun as fuck, and it's like, you know, love talking about this stuff because it's all we do, and it's cool that there's an audience that feels the same way. But it's even cooler that people want to hear about it.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right? Make it be fun. We have fun. Everyone has fun. Exactly.
Which, I mean, speaking, it's kind of the perfect way to get into Twitter topics.
Transition king today, aren't you?
I mean, dude, today. Let's just talk about what day I'm not.
There we go.
You want to fire it off or what?
Yeah, I've got the list. You know, the first one we've got here is, what is the next aha moment for NFTs after the Reddit renaming NFTs to digital collectibles? You know, do we have one for DeFi?
Interesting.
I think we got two questions there. Do we have like a big aha moment and a renaming for DeFi? And then do we, the NFT side?
Right.
Do you think we have one for DeFi?
I think it comes. Yeah, I think DeFi will definitely have its day in the sun, especially if CZ Binance wants to make it a thing and prove a point to the guys over at FTX and SBF. I mean, if you talk about a community that's massive, it's the DeFi community. So it would make sense if you're a centralized exchange to try and pump that up a bit. But I definitely think it'll happen. The aha moment for it, I don't really know. But here's what I can tell you. I will definitely be around for it, and I'll definitely relay it on this podcast because
absolutely
that's why we stick around and dig through the trenches through all the bullshit, right? So
spot on.
As far as NFTs, I'll probably defer to you, but I would say what we talked about earlier with the skins, and then coming up with a new sort of like nickname for it, but putting it into like PS5 and Xbox platforms natively, where people are not even realizing that they're interacting with whatever Polygon, let's just say that, and then but they're buying something in GTA 6 or something like that,
Right, because the creator can still quote unquote control the royalties of that, and if you spend $20 on a skin, you can then sell that skin with a royalty involved, and the creator gets more there. There's really no downside. I see it coming. I don't see why it wouldn't. As far as DeFi, I think one of the maybe like the digital collectible angle might be like self-governed finances. I could see a renaming from decentralized finance to something else.
Yeah.
But I really like the word DeFi.
I know DeFi's great.
It's perfect.
So,
but what's the next aha moment in terms of like individual NFT? I don't think anyone knows that answer.
If they did,
it's always by the market.
They'd be balling. I mean, I still feel like we're in this meta of everyone's just kind of copying the Yuga playbook, right? It's just, let's put out this, let's put out that. The Zuki skateboards thing was kind of cool. It was definitely unique and a like, a little bit amongst the community. You could argue that it was siloed to a specific individual because it turned out to be like a 200 ETH floor.
Right.
But physical digital crossover is a cool concept, and it's nice to see that kind of starting to get implemented. But again, I think what's you gonna do next? I feel like it's like they're gonna steer the ship of what's next and innovative in the space. I would love for it to be someone new though, but you can't doubt the king when it's the king.
No, Bazookies are right there with him though with that skateboard thing. That was a ton of fun to watch.
Oh, it was great. Wasn't anywhere near it, but people bidding and kind of battling out over those was cool. It's always wild to me how much some of these NFT whales are just laced in cash, and they must just be like collectors that had a crazy Web 2 career or whatever, have a fuck ton of money, and are now just diving into this space and don't really care too much about coins and DeFi, but we do know that there is one that like fully crushes it in both. So that's another topic though.
Oh yeah. Should I be reading the names of the people that gave us these topics, because I'm gonna butcher all of them?
I know there's one person that wants a shout out, so maybe if you want your name shouted out, let us know. But until we get to the one that wants a shout out, we'll just not say the names.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Because I don't want to butcher either, right? So it's like if you want us to try, let us know. But if you don't, just don't say anything. Just ask the question.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Next one. If you were stuck on an island, what is the one item you would bring?
Oh my God.
You can only bring one item.
Oh shit! You go first.
I'm bringing a boat.
A boat.
Can you not bring a boat?
Okay, but this is where this type of game always goes south, right? Is because now I ask questions about, okay, does the boat have like, is it fully gassed up and has engines and like GPS so you know where you're going? Does it have like paddles? And then is that two items, boats and paddles? Like, you know what I mean?
No, so I've got a canoe in my hands for paddles is what you're telling me?
Right. So like if you have a boat, are you literally like taking a palm tree and paddling with that.
All right, I gotta pick a different item.
But I mean, that was a quality one. If I can have like, you know, a fishing boat or a straight up yacht, I'll do that, and I'll literally just steam it out and then back home, or literally just kick it on the island on the yacht.
You know, let me think about this. Actually, you know what? I'm bringing sunscreen.
Okay. So my man's just going to be literally isolated for the rest of his life, but he is not going to get melanoma.
I was trying to think about like what would be the most useful thing, and then I remembered there's shade. I could just be in the shade. Okay. So maybe sunscreen's a bad idea too.
No, but I feel that because one, wear sunscreen, it's no joke, but two, you can't hide from it because, you know, you're going to have to be out in the sun a bunch.
That's what I was thinking, like deserted island.
My one would be, I feel like cheating.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
I feel like what I'm about to say would be cheating. So,
what's it going to be? Is it a cell phone?
A satellite phone.
Oh.
So obviously, I don't think a cell phone you'd get service, but a sat phone to make one call, and then you don't need a charger because people are like, oh, cell phone, or like a laptop, and it's like, okay, what are you gonna trade shit coins on a fucking deserted island? But you don't have a charger. You literally have like, open the laptop, log into MetaMask, compound my farms, and then close it.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. If you try to call me, I screen phone calls a lot. I would watch it ring and shoot you a text afterwards and be like, hey man, you good?
Yeah, and it's just, it can't go through the cell phone. You know what's the funniest part about that is that nowadays no one knows anyone's phone number. So you'd have the sat phone and you'd be sitting there like, oh fuck.
Spot on. I'll call myself.
I don't have my contacts list, so I guess I'm just using this as like paperweight now.
Yeah, can you call like 911 from a satellite phone?
That would be amazing. I wonder which like jurisdiction would pick up, but
it's the International Space Station.
Right.
What about a lighter? I feel like a lighter could be a good option.
Yeah, you always kind of need fire. So
yeah,
and like, but almost the better option for that would be like, what
flint
like
and tinder.
That striking, like it's like a brick that you strike and it like creates fucking sparks.
I don't know. My buddy got into like hiking and backpacking, and he bought one of those. So we all went hiking and like, you know, took sleeping bags and hammocks up into the woods. I say woods. We like walked like an hour out of the city. Like it was not a big deal. We were very safe. But he was determined he was going to use that to start a campfire for us. And we watched him try this thing for an hour.
Oh yeah.
And then just broke out a lighter.
Fully confident, like, no, hold on, I got this. And
it was harder than you think. Like it took some ingenuity.
I mean, all those shows, they make it look so easy. But it's like if you do that for a living, then sure it is. Just like trading shitcoins, like it's easy. But if you are a survivalist, you're not going to know how to use MetaMask.
I think it's a good option though, because lighter runs out of fuel. The little like strike box thing, you're going to get good at it at some point, or you're going to die.
Yeah. I mean, so then you at least have fire, and then with fire, you can like create smoke and hopefully put out an SOS and shit like that. I mean, if you think that if you're like screaming at us right now and be like, why are you not saying this? Like, let us know, but not in the DMs, dude. Just put it on Twitter because DMs are just so annoying to read.
Oh yeah. We read all those replies on the Twitter.
Yeah. I see every Twitter reply or tweet that tags us, but the DMs, man,
the mess.
Like what you don't know is that there's a lot of genuine ones or a decent amount, but then the amount of scam and bullshit ones, and like I can't even imagine you're 5x the amount of followers as me. Like you literally can't keep up. So put it out in a tweet. It's way better.
Oh yeah. See every notification. I miss every DM, almost all.
Correct. Yeah, I see almost every like, every comment or mention. I don't really track like followers, but anyway, neither here nor there.
Man, all I'm thinking about now is like Survivor and like that old show.
Oh yeah.
I would not have made it. Mm-mm.
No, not at all. And one item is like, you're kind of screwed regardless. So you almost like, do you bring something that's more fun, or do you try and like tough it out with this flint thing that we're talking about?
I'm gonna bring a soccer ball.
Yeah, like
to entertain myself.
At least bring like a PSP. You have 24 hours of fun or something. It's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, I would die on this island. Maybe I'll just bring like a bottle of like alcohol and try to enjoy the little time I have there.
Bring like a whole distillery. So you'll just have a long time of it.
Ooh, a water filter.
Not bad.
Not bad. I'm
Well,
bringing
because
a water filter.
but dude, if you have the Flint, you can boil water. But I guess salt water, it would be fucked.
What are you gonna boil it in? Coconut?
I mean, this is just ridiculous. These are great questions.
This is a phenomenal question.
Yeah.
The short answer, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, no, I'm not making it very long. I mean, look at us, man. We're on a podcast right now. This dude just got a new mic.
I'm wearing slippers, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah, like
I'm not
fully, right. Like it's like, okay, we're not meant for that type of world.
No.
But, we're both dying for sure.
All right, next one we've got. Who is Bender's favorite reply guy?
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. Man, like I love all of them. Like I said this the other day on Twitter.
I was gonna say you got to bring up that tweet.
I do. Like
we're all
Twitter
reply
is
guys.
nothing without reply. Yeah, I reply to all kinds of stuff. You got 100 followers. I see your tweet. I'm probably replying. You got 10 million. I'm probably gonna reply. Like that's just what Twitter is. Twitter is the social media of reply guys.
Right.
So you got to love all of them, but Bender's intern is who I've spent the most time trying to figure out who they are.
It's wild. Okay, we're in a shared Discord, and they were blown away that you don't know who that is yet.
Yeah. People, all kinds of people think it's me. Like, they said a tweet about Benderverse recently. So I DM'd the one person that said that word to me, and I was like, "It's you, isn't it?" And they go, "No, I thought it was you."
Do we think that you've gotten it right and then that they just denied it?
I have no idea. I don't know. Like I'm not even convinced it's not you yet.
No,
like,
dude,
I'm paranoid about
that
everybody.
Person, if you look at the time of day they're tweeting, I mean, first off, it's sporadic. They're up at all hours, but they're generally saying good morning, they're on the East Coast.
Yeah, or
they
have
even
a very bad sleep schedule in
London. Yeah, that's true too. Shout out the Bender intern. Ethersole intern has gone very quiet recently, but maybe they're listening.
Gosh, man, I'm not even joking. It's been 10 months of me just trying to think about who this could be. And I've got nothing. And I'm confident I've asked the person who it is. I even went so far as to make up a story. I DM'd this person who I was confident it was it or knew who it was. And I was like, oh, they messed up. Like, I know it's you. Like, location data was turned on. So when I opened like the tweet in the API, I saw the coordinates and it's in this location where you live. Like, I know it's you. And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, who was Bender's intern? I was like, oh no.
Oh God.
That's
actually hilarious though.
I'm never going to figure it out, man. But no, it's not me, but man.
I wonder if Bender's intern would ever come on the pod, because that could absolutely give it away. They would have to have a voice changer if they know you like in real life.
I've asked them. They said they would.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
isn't that wild?
It is just like fully someone out in the wild.
Yeah. I had it narrowed down to like 10 people, and now I don't know. I have no idea who it could be.
They've brought up very specific things before in the tweets, though, like of past tweets or things maybe we've said on the pod, though. So I want to say they're always like the first listen of the podcast too. So shout out, truly dedicated.
Dude, it gets weird. I haven't told anybody, but I played the new Overwatch, and this Bender's intern started tweeting at me about the new Overwatch game, and I was like, how do you know?
I mean, this is like Bender's intern might just be AI, and the type of AI where if you have your cell phone on and you're talking about a product, all of a sudden you get that ad.
It's just Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it literally is like, oh yeah, I'm Bender's intern.
Oh man. Yeah, he's got to be the favorite out of mystery alone.
Yeah. No, this is going to be an ongoing saga for the pod, I feel like.
Yeah, and I need to meet this person, but moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Final question.
Arbitrum airdrop updates.
Okay.
And when Bender loses it, they're all for it. Now, I don't know what that one means.
I don't know what that one means either. And that was Chumbawamba. So shout out. They've been wanting their name dropped on the pod.
Chumbawamba.
Definitely
Fun name
super
to say.
loyal. This is the person who has literally been in my DMs trying to tell me the Simpsons character that was an Easter egg in one of the other episodes.
Hell yeah. Love that.
That they couldn't reach you, and I was like, okay, like the persistence paid off with that one in the DMs.
Oh, it did.
Like,
they're
okay,
in.
let me they're in. So there you go. You got your final answer there. But Arbitrum airdrop updates. One, it's never been guaranteed, right? But I had good reason to believe it was. I'm not gonna say why, or even speculate that like it's 100% chance. But I have heard more inklings of actual comments from the team themselves, and I recently did a Spaces with Arbitrum talking about Plutus and Arbitrum, which had a great turnout. So shout out to the Arbitrum community. But they all of a sudden I was, someone got pulled up and they were like, if Arbitrum was to drop a coin, would you guys aggregate that governance power? And I was like, well, no shit. But I was like, you got to toss it to them. And so the moderator of that was like, kind of like, how can I say this? And I was like, well, if there ever was one, we definitely would go like an ecosystem partner. So that's one thing. And then I've just seen a bunch of tweets and stuff like that where it's like they're kind of hinting towards something happening. But again, I think the Odyssey needs to start back up, which was like kind of like that quest line they did that where you had to like basically use platforms on the layer 2 to get you involved in the ecosystem. So I think it would be after that still, if anything, and that would kind of line up with like Christmas. So maybe it'll be a Christmas miracle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We had a Christmas miracle last year too.
I mean, dude, I'm all for a Christmas miracle. Everyone loves a good pump into the holidays.
Yeah.
No matter what you celebrate, like everyone loves a good pump.
I'm letting that one marinate.
Yeah, I know. I knew that was happening. I was like, shit, all right. But yeah, so anyway, shout out to you. And when Bender loses, I'm all for it. It's actually hilarious to me. But I still don't know. Like, maybe that was in regards to like Utes or something.
Am I offended? No.
No.
Am I thrilled? No. It's just me, man.
I'm going to get like literally 70 DMs from this person about this segment. If they've even made it this far, hopefully they did.
And I do be losing it sometimes, though. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, of course. I mean, we get a little wild and reckless on the podcast. Like I said, if I get to 20K followers, then I'll probably go fully unhinged on the timeline, at least for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It's going to... Welcome to the unhinged category.
Exactly. You kind of got to go a little full crazy mode to hype the people up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's my favorite part of the pod, the Twitter topics.
They're so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a mix up of like, all right, let's go over the serious stuff, catch people up on market talk, which I think people do appreciate. I mean, obviously let us know if you don't, but that's like, all right, let's dive in. Let's have a little fun. Let's show a little personality.
It's way more like the questions that are wild and random. Like, what do you bring on a desert island?
Yeah.
So fun, man.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say we're trying to keep these on a more weekly cadence, but seriously, we see your comments in the interim of like, hey, when podcast, and it lights the fuel under the fire. So yeah, we're going to start cranking them out. And oh shit, I should have said this at the beginning, but we do have a new YouTube up, and it definitely helps if you go like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. We'll be dropping the episodes on there if you like to listen to them on YouTube instead. Or just go, listen to them where you normally do. But yeah, we're going to pump out some new branding, fire up the Twitter a little more, drop some more Easter eggs, kind of just fully run with this thing as the market, shows some signs of life. We figure a little bull market for trending down as well.
It sounds about right. Love all that.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
new branding looks great too. I'm
Yeah.
pumped
The new
for it.
shout out to the homie doing all the new branding and stuff. But yeah, let's crank one out. Be here 7 days from now or even sooner than that, and be ready for some good times. Put out some Twitter topics like we said for the fucking 1,000th time, and as always, appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for coming again. We'll see you next time.
Peace.